Hey everyone, I'm Olivér Kovács, a Hungarian composer. This video lesson series is a comprehensive overview of orchestration, including the pitch ranges of the orchestral instruments, how they produce sound, and how to use them properly. The current episode covers orchestral woodwind instruments, including their pitch ranges, register characteristics, and the mechanics behind their sound production. Additionally, I've included a free orchestral template created with Musio sample libraries and Slate Digital VSTs. While I'm not currently an affiliate, I use these products daily in my work. Woodwind instruments are made up of several connected sections of tubing that form the body of the instrument. They produce sound by creating vibrations in a column of air inside the tube. The pitch depends on the length of the air column, which changes when the player opens or closes holes along the instrument. The key mechanism of woodwind instruments was revolutionized by a German musician and inventor, Theobald Boehm. He created a system with levers and ring keys that gave players much better control over the instrument. With Boehm's invention, tone holes could be placed exactly where they produced the best sound and made larger for optimal intonation, regardless of the player's reach, as the key system allowed them to cover tone holes that would otherwise be physically out of reach. As the mechanism is used on all symphonic woodwind instruments, regardless of their size, the same key combination can produce different pitches on different instruments. In other words, the size of the instruments affect the actual pitch that is produced, even though the key system remains the same. Instruments where the sounding pitch differs from the written note are called transposing instruments. Most of the woodwind instruments use a so-called reed to produce sound. The reed is a thin strip of material, usually made from cane, that vibrates when air is blown across it, creating the initial sound, which is then amplified and shaped by the body of the instrument. Embouchure in woodwind instruments refers to the way a player shapes and positions their lips and mouth to control the airflow and produce sound effectively. The piccolo sound is harsh and it can pierce through the entire orchestra. In most cases, there is one piccoloist in a symphony orchestra, two is rare. Its pitch ranges from D5 to C8 and it sounds one octave higher than written in the music sheet. The piccolo music sheet is notated in treble clef. The piccolo is a reedless instrument, meaning the player produces sound by blowing air directly across the mouthpiece without the use of a reed. The flute is the most agile and expressive instrument in the orchestra. There are usually 2 or 3 flutists in a symphony orchestra. Its pitch ranges from C4 to D7 and it sounds as written in the music sheet. The flute music sheet is notated in treble clef. The flute is a reedless instrument. The piccolo and the flute are made of metal and they are transverse instruments, meaning they are held horizontally rather than vertically. These instruments use more air because players blow air directly into the embouchure hole. Be aware of this and give the players more places to breathe. The oboe has a bright, penetrating sound that often carries the main melodic line in the woodwind section. There are usually 2 or 3 oboists in a symphony orchestra. Its pitch ranges from B flat 3 to G6 and it sounds as written. The oboe music sheet is notated in treble clef. The oboe is a double reed instrument, meaning the player produces sound by blowing air through 2 joined reeds that vibrate against each other. The clarinet is a versatile instrument with wide dynamic range and smooth tone. The clarinet family has multiple members, such as the B-flat clarinet, which is the most common, the A clarinet, the E-flat clarinet, and the bass clarinet. There are usually 2 or 3 clarinetists in a symphony orchestra, excluding the bass clarinetist. The B-flat clarinet's pitch ranges from D3 to G6, and it sounds a whole step lower than written in the music sheet. The clarinet music sheet is written in treble clef. The clarinet is a single reed instrument, meaning the player produces sound by blowing air between a reed and the mouthpiece. The English horn has a warm, melancholic tone and often plays expressive solos. This instrument is a member of the oboe family. There is usually one English horn player in a symphony orchestra. Its pitch range is from E3 to C6, and it sounds a perfect fifth lower than written. The English horn music sheet is notated in treble clef. The English horn is a double reed instrument. The bassoon has a rich, reedy tone and plays both bass lines and lyrical melodies. There are usually 2 or 3 bassoonists in a symphony orchestra. Its pitch range is from B flat 1 to E flat 5 and it sounds as written. The bassoon is a double reed instrument. The contrabassoon is the lowest pitch woodwind instrument in the orchestra. There is usually one contrabassoonist in a symphony orchestra. Its pitch range is from B flat 0 to B flat 3 and it sounds one octave lower than written. The contrabassoon is a double reed instrument. In music, articulation refers to how individual notes are played or shaped on an instrument, affecting their attack, length, and connection to other notes. Woodwind instruments use several types of articulations. If you're not familiar with the basic articulation used in orchestral instruments, feel free to check out my comprehensive video lesson on the topic. Vibrato is a slight, regular variation in pitch that adds warmth and expressiveness to a note. Vibrato is not considered an articulation, it's a playing technique that can enhance the sound of longer notes and contribute to the overall performance. Tonguing refers to the way a player uses their tongue to articulate notes. It helps define the attack and clarity of each note. Tonguing involves briefly interrupting the airflow with the tongue to separate notes. This technique is essential for articulations with short, separated notes like staccato and marcato. There are 3 types of tonguing: single, double, and triple. Double and triple tonguing are more difficult to perform on single and double reed instruments than on reedless ones. Single tonguing can be easily performed on all woodwind instruments. For faster or more detached notes, players use double tonguing, while triple tonguing is typically used for triplets. Legato articulation means that the notes are played smoothly and connected without any noticeable breaks between them. After the first note is tongued, the rest are produced in one continuous breath, giving the phrase a fluid and seamless sound. Trills are rapid alternations between 2 adjacent notes, usually a step apart. Flutter tonguing produces a growling, rolled sound by rapidly rolling the tongue. It adds a dramatic or edgy effect and it often used in modern or expressive passages. While it's possible on all woodwind instruments, it is more difficult to produce on double reed instruments. Woodwind instruments can only play finger tremolo since bowed tremolo is obviously possible only on bowed instruments. Hence, tremolo in a woodwind sheet music is indicated by a finger tremolo marking. A glissando is a smooth slide from one pitch to another. On woodwind instruments, producing a glissando is challenging due to their fixed fingering systems. However, players can approximate it by sliding their fingers between keys or gradually altering their embouchure and air pressure. A glissando produced by adjusting the embouchure is known as a lip glissando. Unlike brass instruments, woodwinds do not commonly use mutes. However, certain effects such as placing a cloth or handkerchief into the bell can reduce the volume or alter the timbre to create a muted-like sound. This technique is not possible on instruments without a bell, such as the flute or piccolo. While the YouTube version of this video includes useful and essential information for aspiring composers and those who want to dive deeper into orchestration, the full version is only available to my supporters on Patreon at the highest tier. Please consider that creating a video like this takes about 10 to 12 hours, including researching authentic sources, writing the script, recording the voiceover, and editing the video.